Oil changes. Now this is your bread and butter for the DIY mechanic. So although it seems simple, how to change your oil, there's a lot of people who don't even go as far as changing your oil. They go to a main dealer or an independent just for an oil change. Like I say, this does seem like quite a basic how-to, but there's a couple of little fundamentals which I think will be helpful. So I've decided to go for a fully synthetic oil this time, and I've gone for this Silcoline after seeing some good reviews about it. Silcoline Pro 4, and I'm going for a cheapo filter. This comes as a kit with the oil and the filter. Not a genuine Honda filter, but it's an aftermarket one. So we're going to cover how to change the oil. First things first, obviously you've got to get access to the filter and access to the to your sump plug. Now obviously each bike will be different, and this is a generic video, so basically on my bike it's just a case of undoing the screws and dropping the belly pan. Okay, lower fairings removed now, so I have access to the filter. This is a CBR 1000 RR4 engine. To the filter, as you can see, it's pretty new, looks brand new still. Is there. These are quite handy. They have a little socket on the end, so you can put a socket on there and do it. Hopefully, that's the plan anyway. And then the drain plug for the oil is down here. If you can see that, just down here, look, is the drain. So, first thing to do before you get cracking and start undoing drain bolts, warm the engine up if you can. Get it, start it up. Just gently warm it, not until it's red hot, because you don't want to be draining red hot oil out. Just to thin the oil slightly so it will clear out and drain out better. Okay, she's run up now. Best way to tell if things are getting warm is to just touch the oil filter. Obviously watch out for the exhaust, it'll be hot, but if you've got access to your oil filter, touch it. If that still feels cold, it's not warm enough yet, because that's the oil running directly through that, so that's you can tell directly how hot the oil is by touching that. Probably, I'd say, until the bike comes off choke, it's probably around the temperature you want. Okay, so engine warm, bike raised at the back. You're best off raising it on some sort of paddock stand to make sure the oil, well, my drain bolt is at the front of the engine, so mine works best to have the back up and the front down to make sure the oil's, all at the front there. Prepare to make a mess is the other thing, just in case you have a spillage. I have one of these oil cans with like a drain pan built into it, which is very useful. So you need something to catch your oil in. I've an old oil container cut open. Cardboard works well, put some cardboard down on the floor. Get your tools ready. Mine uses a 13mm socket on the drain plug. I have to remove that little cap, of course, otherwise it will get messy very quickly. Start draining. Undo your sump plug. Now, this shouldn't be too tight, unless you've had Mr. Gorilla working on your bike in the past. And I don't want to lose the drain bolt down into the container, because that can get rather messy fishing that out. Also, a set of rubber gloves comes in handy at this stage. So I'm going to grab this. There she goes. There we go. Made a mess already. As you can see, it comes out rather quickly to start up with. Yeah. Also, get a bit of rag handy. Could recommend top tip. Okay, so there we are. Oil is draining, still dribbling out. So ideally you want to leave it now to get every last little drop out. I would leave it for a good half an hour. Also, once that drops to a drip, take the bike off the stand, tilt it left and right carefully. Obviously, don't get overbalanced by it and drop it, but tilt it left and right. That'll get any oil which is sat in a recess in the engine, move it around and hopefully back down to the lowest point where it will drain out. So don't just leave the bike like that until it stops. Get it off the stand, move it around, tip it left and right, and you'll see a bit. But obviously be careful, as I say. It's Don't want you to drop your bikes, and we don't want you to get all over the place either, so a little bit of care is needed. Okay, while I'm waiting that to drain through, I am going to fit my filter. So get another container ready, because you know, your container's probably not going to be in the right spot to catch everything from the filter as well. And my filter has a 17mm socket, so I'm going to remove it like that. There we are, so slowly unwind, as you can see. More mess. That's the oil which is sat behind the filter now, and that filter is also full of oil, so when you take it off, make sure you hold it with the bolt side down so the oil stays in it. There we are. As I say, make sure you hold your filter that way up, because that is full of oil. So don't tip that. There you go. Just do it like that. Pour it away directly. Give it a good shake. Shake it off like a dog. And now, basically, leave it for a good half hour. I'll leave it a good 10 minutes dripping like that until it stops dripping. Then we'll take it off the stand and manoeuvre it about. Try and get any last bit of residue out. Things have more or less finished dripping now. So I'm going to get it off of the stand. Sometimes when doing this, a surprising amount of oil can come out when you manoeuvre it about. I'm going to put the drain plug back in, not all the way back in, just a little bit. We'll take it off the stand, rock it around. Bit of rocking, left to right. Now we've rocked it, let's remove the drain bolt again, and let's see what else we've managed to free up inside the engine by doing that. See how much oil. And look at that, so now the little drizzle. There we go, you can see that. We've created another stream, so I mean it's a good shot, a shot of oil probably just come out of there, and I probably guarantee your dealer won't do that either. So yeah, so now we have to wait again, wait for that stream to finish. So as you can see, your filter comes with a bit of plastic on the end to protect any dust and whatnot getting in there. So that has to be removed, obviously, before we start. Take your plastic off your filter. Now you'll see there's a rubber seal in here, which on this one seems to be pre-oiled actually. It's got oil on it already. But just to be sure, and what the standard process is to open your new oil. Put your finger in. Look at that beautiful red, fresh, lovely oil, and just run that new oil around your rubber O-ring, just like so. Basically, screw it back on. And this one, like the K&N filter, has a little nut built into the end. Don't over tighten it. I just tighten mine by hand, but I have got hands like shovels, so bear that in mind. Bear that in mind. Don't over tighten it, because it'd be a hell of a job to get off. If you cannot get your filter off, what I have done in the past, get a sharp pointed screwdriver. It sounds a bit barbaric, and then put it through the filter, hammer it right through your filter, not too close to the bottom because you don't want to hit the threaded area, but towards the end, hammer a screwdriver all the way through so it just protrudes the other side, and unscrew it, and you've got that extra bit of leverage then. I've had to do that before. I had to do that when I first removed the original filter from this bike, where someone had over tightened it. So if you can't get it off with, if you've got a nut type end, if you've got a normal filter removal tool, if you can't get it off, you can bang a screwdriver through it and get it off that way. But of course, if that fails, you can't ride the bike till you've got someone to remove the filter for you. I think we've finished dribbling more or less at the bottom, so I'm going to put the sump plug back in, and then we will top her up with oil. That'll do. Then you need to torque up your sump bolt. That'll do. There we are, so sump plug in, filter on. So all we need now is some new oil in the bike. when putting oil in the bike, to get the right level, you want to get the bike level. And that it's central, that it's level, horizontal plane. If it's on the side stand, obviously you're not going to register any oil, so it's got to be upright. Ideally also level as well, but you can fill it with the front down if you haven't got a means to raise the front. But ideally, get someone to hold it. If you haven't got a paddock stand, or you haven't got a way of raising the front when it's on the back paddock stand, get someone just to hold the bike upright is the easy way of doing it. And before you get too carried away, what I always tend to do at this stage is tidy up, because you can guarantee you'll forget about your pot of oil and you'll kick it over. You'll kick it over and it'll go everywhere. So as soon as you've got your sump plug done up, get rid of your oil container, put the lid on, dispose of it properly. Okay, with the bike raised, it's time to put your oil in. Now, this oil, unfortunately, the oils I like have a pull-out tube to make filling easier. Unfortunately, this Silk Clean doesn't have that, so it's bloody awkward to try and pour oil in without getting it absolutely everywhere. So I'll have to get a funnel. So obviously remove your oil filler. Also, I forgot to mention, do not start your bike without any oil in. Don't think you'll just turn it on the starter motor just to try and get any oil out of the rocker and all that. Don't try and start your bike without any oil. You'll do permanent damage. So you need to put about 3 litres in here. Now, the sight gauge is your friend here. You get a very rough measurement on your oil. I mean, 3 litres is there, so you do get and there's meant to be 4 litres in here. So we should have a litre left over for top up. So in theory, you could pour all this in down to the 1 litre left mark, but you'd be risking it then. So what I tend to do is put in sort of 2 litres off the bat, and then look at the sight gauge and see where we are. So I'm going to go for 2 litres straight off. Look at the side, see how much you got in there. Well, that's 3 litres, so that's 1 litre gone in now. Oh, a ½ litre. No, it's about 2 litres now. Just check your sump now. Make sure nothing's leaking. Make sure you've done it up tight enough. Check around your filter, make sure it's dry. If I look, I've still got nothing on the sump yet, so we'll go more. Let's put another ½ litre in. Still nothing on the sump level, and we're coming down to sort of 2.5 litres in it now. So go a little bit more. Now I can see it. Okay, let me show you. We're halfway up the window now. So halfway up. So that's not bad now. So I think we'll leave it there. We'll start the bike up, warm the bike through, turn it off, and then leave it to rest for 5 minutes, and then check it again. There we go, fired up. We just leave it a little 5 minutes now for the oil to settle. If you check your sight glass right away, you'll see it's empty because the oil's obviously been sucked up. Okay, so the 5 minutes have come and gone and there's still nothing showing on the sight glass, so I'm going to just top her up. There we go. The oil's back halfway up between the sight glass. Now I'll leave it at the lower mark and then take it for a run now. Pop a run around the block, come back, check it again when it cools down. But that should be about it now. So on the bottle it says we've got just under a litre left, because you never know how much is actually in there to start with, do you? There we go. So that's it. Then put your fairings back on, take it for a run, and then just top up as required. If you overfill it, you'll have to undo the plug and let some out, because you don't want to run the engine with too much oil in it, because it can damage the seals, etc. So you have to drain some out if you've overfilled it. But take it slowly. It's easy to put extra in, it's not so easy to take any out.